wanted to ask you is the way the economy is now, are you finding that the people are less able to donate or even volunteer just because of how things are?
We see a little bit of that, but we also see there's an awful lot of community spirit in New London County. People are always rising to the occasion to meet the need. So, we really focus on that. Some donations and some companies or some areas or some food drives may have fallen off a little bit, but then they seem to be picked up in a new area or somebody else that just got it upon themselves to have a food drive. And so there's always changes in our incoming side of food and our outgoing side of food. So it's like any small organization or business, the marketplace keeps changing and we adapt to it.
How many years have you been doing this now for?
I've been with the food, this is my 9th year.
Do you notice in the time that you've been doing it that the types of food donations change a little bit as society changes? I mean, are there trends in food donations and what goes out? And
tremendously.
Is that right, really?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because I think what people don't stop to think about, try to think about 5 or 6 years ago in your favorite grocery store that you go to now, and there might have been a small bank of frozen foods, and you go into the store today, and there's whole aisles of frozen and refrigerated foods. So it's a tremendous change in whatever is reflected in the storefront. We reflect that same change because we'll be receiving those same foods in.
That's a good point. A lot of these quick throw in the microwave frozen things might not have existed way back when, and so yeah, there's a difference even just in that alone.
The diversity of products is just tremendous today compared to what it was 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some donations come in and we have to look up and see what this is, as far as produce goes and things like that. And there's so many products. One of the interesting things of my job, you'd ask me about my job, is when you go to a grocery store to buy something, you have something in mind that you're going to go to the grocery store and buy. So you're looking for something specific. At our end, we're getting all this stuff in that we've never seen before, and we have to check the date code, its ingredients and things to make sure it's good and safe to the best of our ability to hand out. So we're doing that. So you're looking at things you never would have thought of buying in your life.
Right, and you get an education from it. You go, because you may discover something, you go, you know what? I'd like to try this sometime. So when I go shopping, maybe I will try it.
Exactly, but you see things that are just, you never would have thought of looking for in the store. You don't even know they exist.
Let's give people the website so they can learn a little bit more about it while we're in the break. So go ahead and give that.
Well, our main website is United Way of Southeastern Connecticut. It's uwsect.org.
Okay, all right. Check out the website and learn a little bit more. A lot more with Paul Jakoboski. He's the director of the Gemma Moran United Way Labor Food Center. When we come back, I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. Our guest today is Paul Jakoboski, the director of the Gemma Moran United Way Labor Food Center. A lot more to get to. We were talking about, before the break, different types of food that people donate and you give out and how things have changed over the course of time. When you're in the business of giving to the needy, one thing that certainly they wouldn't be concerned about that sometimes the typical person looks at nowadays is like, everybody's big into counting calories and looking at things like that. But in this case, that's certainly not something that would be top of mind for anybody when they're just in need of food in general. So,
well, we try to provide healthy food, and with more interest and marketability of organic and eating healthier and looking at all these food recalls we've been having and whatnot, that we have to address all those issues, and so we really look to that kind of thing. Now, of course, when people donate something to us, we just pass it through to our clientele and our distribution network, and so we get distributed to us everything that you can buy. But when we're looking at, when we do purchases or sourcing of food in the time, we really look to what would be locally grown first or locally produced first, and then we look to nutrition and having a balanced product line and having a good mix of protein and vegetables and carbohydrates and things like that. And we do look at the floor and see what it is, and what resources we do have, we'll go out and purchase and try and fill in gaps in that respect.
Is there some things that you don't accept or that would be inappropriate for you to accept and in turn give out?
Alcohol.
I mean, that's not even food, really.
Well, there's a lot of alcohol and you look at salad dressings and things like that. Now, some salad dressings they have such a high alcohol content, we don't distribute them out.
Just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's because they get abused. And so we don't want to.
Dressing, amazing.
Well, yeah, that is a case. So mostly it's alcohol. Anything that has to do with medicines and things like that, we stay away from.
Yeah, because that totally makes sense.
Right.
The interesting thing about, we were talking about the economy and how things are, and it's good to see that people are still willing and able to donate. Can people make monetary donations too? I imagine that they can too.
We appreciate that tremendously, because when we go out to purchase food ourselves, we have to look at opportunities far below wholesale, because wholesale itself is a good price, but below wholesale is really where we need to operate.
Yeah.
So compared to somebody going out and paying full retail for a can of tuna fish or something, we might be able to, from the way we purchase, get 2 or 3 cans of tuna fish for that same price.
By the way you purchase, you mean in bulk?
In bulk, and through the Feeding America programs and the Connecticut Food Bank programs, and having special suppliers.
Concerns or issues that would be affecting the food center right now that have you concerned or that need looking at or closer attention?
Well, we're concerned with the economy in general, as everyone else is, and we're concerned with the overall increasing need, and what are we doing as a community to make ourselves more self-sustainable with food and shelter and addressing these needs? So that is a major concern. Another is our market is always changing and growing, just like any small organization or businesses, and we have to look at ways to better meet the challenges. And one of the things that we're looking at is food preservation. A lot of the farms and farmers in this area can grow a lot of tomatoes and zucchini. And everyone laughs about, oh, do you want to have some more zucchini on your plate? When the zucchini's coming in, everybody has too much. But if we could take that zucchini and preserve it, either freeze it or can it or bottle it or something, and preserve it, then we would have zucchini that would last right through the winter months. And we need to really start looking at that, and that would help our community be more self-sustaining.
Yeah.
And we have an organization called Fresh that is home-sited at the food center, and they are involved with the community gardens, and we're teaching young people how to grow vegetables and how to cook and prepare those vegetables. And one of the things that we were looking for, and we're working in collaboration with TVCCA right at the moment, to design a food preservation kitchen that we could build inside the food center. And what that food preservation kitchen would enable us to do is, when we get in 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of, say, potatoes, and our distribution, even the 92 sites, won't all take all those potatoes. And instead of watching them spoil on the floor, we could run them through the kitchen and make something out of it.
Yeah.
Preserve them as scalloped potatoes or boiled potatoes or some kind of potato product that we could then preserve and then give out to our pantries, and it would be a very low-cost way of doing that. And we could perhaps do this either with in conjunction with students, train them with a culinary arts program like at OIC, or we would do it with volunteers or something. And by doing that, we would help our community be more self-sufficient.
The last thing I would imagine that in your business you'd want to see is any type of food go to waste in any way.
Exactly. And that's a concern, is that when we have produce on the floor, granted, some of the produce that we get has a short life left because they're giving it to us because of a reason. So it's already got only a week left or a week and a half left to it when we get it. And so we've got to be able to respond quickly. We get it out to our programs and let them have first brush over it. But some of them have problems if they're picking up food on Tuesday and their program doesn't serve food until the end of the month, it would spoil on their shelves as well.
Yeah.
And so the solution would be to help enable us to preserve the food when we have it in abundance.
Preserving is a big issue, because the irony of what you're saying is, before you were talking about wanting to try to get proper nutrition out to people and be as healthy as you can, the flip side to that is, though, the things with the preservatives in them that make things last longer food-wise might not obviously be as healthy per se as the produce that you would need to get out right away or get it frozen right away. So it's a balancing act there.
Absolutely. And then the way we would preserve it would be to freeze it without chemicals added and things like that added, but try to maintain its organic integrity.
So that,